the tape, let's grind. Shut up. The tape, let's grind. The tape. We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't gonna play, shut up and grind the tape.
The tape, let's grind.
We ain't gonna play, them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't gonna play, shut up and grind the tape.
The tape, let's grind.
We ain't gonna play, them dogs in your face. Grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape, let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape,
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
the tape.
UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Right. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Yeah. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunkered down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Found guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Kirby Smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't come to play, shut up and grind the tape.
The tape.
We ain't come to play, them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The
Shut up
tape.
and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape,
The
bro.
tape.
Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape.
Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Sunday afternoon. Look, I'm putting some faith in you, okay? I'm putting some faith in you right now. Normally, when you guys show up in droves or if something does really, really well, I hammer that again. I stay right in that area and I say, oh, they liked it. I'm going to give them more of that. No different than last Sunday. Sunday night, we get home late because of the Texas game being in Austin and the travel and all that nonsense. And I don't start the Sunday show until 9 o'clock. Now, last Sunday's reaction show at 9 o'clock did numeros. I'm talking about stupid, silly numbers, okay? And I understand Texas, big football game, Georgia. I'm hoping it wasn't the time slot, okay? Because Sunday evenings, that's my time to be a normal person, all right? That's my time to spend some time with my wife, spend some time with my kids, be a normal human, take some time off, and then recirculate the batteries and recharge the batteries come Monday morning. So I moved this back to noon, and I'm hoping that you guys as an audience will still show up in droves and still show some love, even though it did crazy numbers last Sunday night, okay? So do me a favor, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, rate, and review, all that good stuff up on the front end. We got a loaded show for you guys tonight. We're going to start with Texas A&M's absolute whipping of LSU, particularly in that second half of that football game. We're going to start there, but we got a great one for you. Ohio State sweated it out against Nebraska. Penn State wins with the backup quarterback, who I definitely thought was Ethan Grunkmeyer the entire time until I checked the box score this morning. But hey, Penn State's backup quarterback got it done. We're going to talk about it today. Miami flat out bullied Florida State. Texas survives Vandy. We're at the point nowadays in the world of college football where you're surviving Vandy. Crazy work. Bama throttled Missouri. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have a ton of analysis on that one, but I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to take a shot at somebody because we have crossed over from football coach to guy who says things now, and you know how I feel about those football coaches. BYU finally getting some love on this network. Oregon flat out rolling like national championship contenders should be. Indiana backup quarterback wagon. Indiana a wagon with a backup quarterback. That should be said that way. We're going to talk about it today. And just a big old middle fingers up to the Fighting Irish. I hope Irish fans aren't here today to watch me congratulate your football team. How dare you do that to the servicemen? Let's start here first and foremost with this A&M win, man. Aggies roll in that second half, win this one 38-23. LSU opened up this football game, though, looking like the football team that was going to walk away with this one, 17-7. Real quick and explosively, right? I think it's 10-7, and then they take a 76-yard slant to the door, missed tackle by Texas A&M. Next thing you know, LSU's up 17-7. Doesn't look like A&M's offense going to be able to move the football very much, but it was clear to me, even from opening script and even from opening success stories, if you will call that, for LSU's offense, it was very clear to me early on that even when LSU was scoring the football, apart from that one really explosive slant, missed tackle, whatever, Texas A&M's defense was going to make this LSU offense earn this. Like you were going to have to crawl the ball to get into the end zone, and most definitely going to force you into settling for field goals, because that's what this A&M defense does, right? They're extremely good. I think they said on the broadcast last night, the number one team in the nation in goal-to-goal defense, meaning they hold teams to settling for field goals more than anybody else in the sport. It's because they're a really good defense. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But, despite the fact that LSU was moving the football, it was clear to me early on they had an absolute refusal to run the football, a complete refusal to run the football. And when you drop a quarterback back 54 times against this A&M defense to just 8 traditional carries, I don't care how good Garrett Nussmeier is, and I believe in him as a decision maker. I believe in him as a quarterback. I believe he's going to throw the ball accurately, and he's going to make really good decisions with the football. However, you drop any quarterback back 54 times against that front and that mixed coverage and that zone defense and those level of football players, buddy, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for absolute trouble. And though you got through the first half unscathed with regards to those troublesome moments, those turnover-worthy moments, they showed up all in the second half. And again, it's only a matter of time. I don't care who you are. Unless you're Tom Brady or unless you're Peyton Manning, you drop back 54 times to just 18 traditional runs, you're going to have problems. They're going to start mixing looks on you. You're going to start making turnover-worthy throws. And some of them were defense created. Some of them were just like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing at this point in the game? And maybe you are rolling left, Garrett. Maybe you are rolling left, trying to throw a ball to Kyron Lacey up over a Texas A&M defender. And even the Texas A&M defender after the game's like, I was wondering why the hell he threw the ball. He's like, I know you see me right here. So maybe you're pressing at that point because you just know, like, there's no way we're moving the ball unless I do this type of stuff. But the first interception, just goofy, throw the ball away. You're too smart. And first of all, you're not him. You're not that guy, pal. Like, I love Garrett Nussmeier as much as the next guy. I think Garrett Nussmeier is a really, really high-end football player. But we all know he's not like the most physically gifted quarterback that ever walked the planet. So when you're rolling left and you've got pressure coming after you and you're trying to throw a ball back across the field, you're not that guy. So don't throw that ball. Be smart. Throw that ball away. The second interception I thought was a great play by the nickel defender. They've got a duos receiver. It was a very similar play, just in the inverse to what Georgia did against Texas, where the flat defender picks the ball off on the number 2 wide receiver. It's the inverse, right? They were running cover 3, which means the corner, or cover 4, I couldn't quite remember. The corner's bailing, right? But the nickel defender is rerouting number 2 and then does a great job of sneaking back up underneath the hitch route on the outside. It's a really great play by the nickel. I also think it was a very questionable mandatory outside release because you walked him right into it. Like, the nickel did such a great job of rerouting number 2 and then finding the ball. It's a great play. The third interception was very clearly you not understanding that the defensive line was leaking and that they put him into a spy. So at that point in the game, again, like you're dropping back so many times that at that point they have become exotic in their coverage. Whoever you think's coming might not be. Wherever you think the coverage is from, it might not be. I was watching that Texas A&M defense preparing for that football game on film, watching them against Missouri, and just thinking, good God, man, like that Texas A&M defense does so much from a discovery or a coverage standpoint and disguising coverage. I think that's why my brain tried to say discoverage. Disguising coverage that like they send pressure from depth more than any other defense that I've seen, where like the nickel is very clearly standing over the number 3 wide receiver, and he ain't going to creep to the box. Not at all. He's going to blitz from depth and hope that they cover enough that he's going to impact the football play. And that happened several times last night. Several times. Now, let's talk about the adjustments, all right, from this A&M football or coaching staff from the offensive standpoint. But let's wrap a bow on this defensive analysis. It was very clear to me and to anybody watching that football game from very early on that A&M's defensive line was there to set the tone almost too much. Like fighting in pregame, not a great idea. But hey, look, I mean, if I'm my man Shamar Turner and I'm 6'5", 300 pounds, and I look like Myles Garrett but 300 pounds, yeah, you can come get some work in pregame too if you want some. You can come get some in pregame. And then during the game, it was very clear to me that particularly Shamar Turner, almost to a fault, was playing aggressively. Was playing, I'm here to hunt, I'm here to kill, seek, and destroy type of defense. And I thought it was playing out right there in the middle of the second quarter on into the fourth quarter of that football game. Number 5 was the most physically dominant and physically aggressive football player on that field. And they didn't really have an answer for him except for the yellow handkerchief. That was about it. Okay, that was about it. The coverage, the mixed coverage, it's going to be a really, really tough defense to play against, because I understand LSU's running back. I understand why they were so slanted with their run carries versus their traditional dropbacks. Their running back room's banged up. B, good luck. Like good luck running the ball against Texas A&M. They're just so good on the interior of that defensive line. They roll so deep. They're so aggressive, and they're so NFL bound. They're so NFL bound. They got 3 probably top first-round draft pick caliber football players, right? Number 11, the transfer from Purdue, is an elite football player. Number 5 and number 4, both the Stewarts, Shamar and number 4, all right, elite football players, going to be first-round draft picks. Okay, so Evan maybe? They're both Stewarts, both incredible football players. I told our Discord chat for the Georgia fans watching this today, it would be like Texas A&M has a version of Mykel Williams who's taller and longer. That's number 4. And then they got a version of Mykel Williams who's slightly squatted and bigger, 300 pounds. It's number 5. They have 2 of them. So they're really, really, really good. Now let's talk about the switch of Connor Weigman to Marcel Reed. Let's talk about Connor Weigman first and foremost. I think we've seen the experiment now, right? I think we all know that the moment a high caliber defense is on the other side of the football field from a Connor Weigman-led offense, your quarterback is now going to become inaccurate, unpredictable, and frantic. Inaccurate, unpredictable, frantic. Those are 3 qualities and 3 describing words. Great speaking here from yours truly, right? Those are 3 words that we can't have anywhere near our quarterback play at all in big-time football games. We can't. And we saw that against Notre Dame, and we've now seen that against LSU. By the way, I think the 2 highest caliber defenses they've played all year, I don't think maybe they've drawn Oklahoma. I don't think they did because they got Texas at the end of the year. You get the point? All right. You can't look that way at the quarterback position against good defenses and expect us to continue to roll you out there. So great job making the decision to pull him. Also, great moment of the game to do so. A big turnover right there in the second half. Ball in your own end thanks to a personal foul as well. So ball at like 23, and we're going to put the Q in. So great time deciding on the change as well. Could you imagine trying to do that ball in your own 6, right? Completely different situation. for a guy coming up off the bench for the first time in several weeks. So I thought it was a great decision. But can we stop and look? It's very obvious. Like Kirk Herbstreit's the best to do it right now, and has been for a long, long time. You guys know this. Kirk's been selling the Marcel Reed or buying Marcel Reed stock for a while because he sees what everybody else sees. The moment Marcel Reed steps into that game, all right, and into that offense, two things happen. One, they become far more dynamic, obviously. All right, far more dynamic. But two, and most importantly, their coordinator, who they just paid a bunch of money to take from Kansas State, Colin Klein, everyone in the building, everyone at home watching on television can see that dude take a damn deep breath in the box. Woo. Man, I can involve quarterback run again. That's what I do. That's who I am. Matter of fact, that's who I was as a player. Like all I know how to do, and all I'm best at doing is design quarterback run, is RPOs, is quarterback reads, is involving the quarterback's legs. That's when I'm my best. That's what I did at Kansas State. That's what I did as a player. That's what you hired me to do. And then you give me Connor Weigman, because I love Connor Weigman as much as the next guy from an NFL standpoint. Big, tall, fast, can throw it, can't see the field, cannot see the field in big games. But you hired this coordinator to come in and do what he does, and it's so clear to me that he is so much more comfortable with Marcel Reed in at quarterback. So not only is your offense better, but your coordinator's more comfortable. End of experiment, end of story. Marcel Reed should be your guy. By the way, it ain't just Kirk Herbstreit that has said this. Us on this network, anybody who's watched A&M football feels the same way. Every opponent that they prepared for, apart from this one, has been prepared for Marcel Reed, because they know once we stop this guy, the other preparation is completely different. Let's talk about LSU's defense, because they look flabbergasted. They look like they ain't seen this on tape. They look like the moment Marcel Reed came in there, they were figuring out shit on the fly. Like they didn't prepare at all for quarterback design run or for the idea that Marcel Reed might enter this football game. Is that a point of criticism for Blake Baker? I would say yeah, because you have to assume, like every coach assumes their plan's going to work. So when you're playing a team that has two quarterbacks, you have to prepare for your plan to work against the starter, thus preparing for the change, right? You go into football games knowing that you're going to do well, right? Or thinking that you're going to do well. So in the back of that mind, we've got to at least have a plan for what happens when our first plan works. You see what I'm saying? When you're playing these teams that have multiple quarterbacks, and particularly multiple systems with those multiple quarterbacks. All right, so I thought that was a little bit of a point of criticism, and a rightful point of criticism for a Blake Baker staff that clearly had a plan for Connor Weigman. They boxed that dude. For 2.5 quarters, they made Connor Weigman look like Connor Weigman, right? And it didn't look great. All right, and then as soon as Marcel Reed came in, complete unaware of how to stop quarterback run. And it looked very obvious, right? Very obvious from that. But here's the deal. The moment Blake Baker and that defensive staff made an adjustment, started rolling safeties into the box, started trying to take away quarterback run, what happened? Marcel Reed hit them over the head with a 65-yard bomb. So what do I do as an analyst? I'm going to tell you what I do. I credit the other team for winning, right? The other team for doing what they need to do. Marcel Reed came in that football game, established quarterback run. The moment LSU countered and settled in to stop quarterback run, he slit their throat. What do? You tip your cap, you say A&M's real as shit, and you move on. That's what you do. That's what you do if you're an SEC football team watching that one. You tip your cap. You know that defense is legit as hell. You know the run game with Le'Veon Moss, no matter who's at quarterback, is really, really good. And then the moment Marcel Reed comes in, you hold your breath and you stop the run and pray that you can play man-to-man on the outside or that you can cover, because that's what it's going to ultimately be for most of these football teams, right? Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I also want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Better. All right, Better's the place to be if you're looking for college football props this season. Enter promo code Brooks or click the link in the description of this video today. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $250. Again, that's using promo code Brooks. Enter more than or less than on props entering now in 23 states. Okay, 23 states here, including the fine state of Georgia. Run over there to Better. Use promo code Brooks. Ooh. I had flashbacks. I had negative flashbacks. I had PTSD last night watching that football game between LSU and A&M because there is a moment in that football game where there is a snapping issue, a snap and a hold issue on field goal. So let me walk you through this one. Okay, let me walk you through this one. Guys, when we are on the road, field goal cadences are now altered because motherfuckers are loud in the SEC. Motherfuckers are loud in Division II football, in mid-major football. All right, so I have firsthand experience with what happened to the LSU holder Saturday. And the LSU holder got the smoke Saturday from his head football coach because the head football coach knew what happened. But some people watching that football game might think the snapper effed up on that one, but it's all on the holder, just like it was in 2014, shorter at Kennesaw State, when your boy ended up on not top 10 for a reason that was not my fault. Look, when we're on the road as a snapper, I am looking between my legs. You are staring at me as a holder. The moment you look at the kicker and the moment you look back to me, I am hot as a snapper now. I'm good to go. I'm not waiting for no cadence. I'm not waiting for nothing. We are on the road. There's a 16,000 screaming Owl fans yelling their head off. I can't hear nothing. There are 112,000 screaming Aggies screaming their head off. I cannot hear nothing. We are nonverbal. We are nonverbal. The moment you look up and look back at me as a holder, I am hot. I am hot. Cody, I am hot, number 38 from LSU. Y'all out here making snappers look bad on national television, putting them on SportsCenter not top 10 for hitting you off the damn knee, costing us football games because you ain't paying attention. Ohio State, y'all, the recipe's out now. The recipe is out. You escaped Nebraska 21-17 because Nebraska got what I call NAD offense. They got not a dude offense, not a dude one over there ready to make a play. NAD is Nebraska offense, not a dude, not a single one. Not a single one. If they had a single solitary dude that could make a play on the outside, Nebraska would have won this football game. But not a dude, ne'er a dude, not a single one on the Nebraska side of the offense. Matt Rule, I'm sure, will get that right. Dylan Raiola, I'm sure, eventually will get that right. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. But it was very clear to me early on, number 8 and number 9, the two whitest defensive linemen wearing single-digit numbers I ever done seen. Yet you never see it, by the way. Never at all. Never do you see a single-digit defensive tackle that's 300 plus pounds that is a white man. Nebraska's got 2 of them, and they are fire hydrants. It was very clear to me early on that they were about to tell Ohio State, hey, Will Howard, you gonna have to beat us today. You gonna have to beat us today because y'all ain't running the ball. Y'all are not running the ball. We have the definition of corn-fed dudes up in this middle, and y'all ain't running the rock today. So Will Howard, what you got? And here's the deal. When Will Howard is able to throw on downs when nobody in the building believes he's throwing the football, they're great. The first 2 touchdown passes, 1st and 10, after they've been running the rock, trying to establish the run, Nebraska dedicating bodies to the box, stopping the run, boom, over the top of the head. Now, the only problem is y'all don't have much of a deep game passing attack after that, all right? And when you get into 3rd and obvious and we start being able to tee up pass rush opportunities, you cannot protect and your quarterback can't get it done. 1 for 10 on 3rd downs in this football game. 1 for 10 on 3rd downs in this football game was Ohio State. And if you want to see good quarterback play, or if you want to see a quarterback or a offense that is struggling with being able to throw the football when everyone knows they're throwing the football, just look at them on 3rd down. Just look at them on 3rd down and see how well they're doing. 1 for 10, that's how well they're doing. You're going to be anemic offensively when you do this, all right? When teams stop the run and then know when you're throwing and are able to key up pass rushes and you have an inability to protect the quarterback right now consistently, you're going to have problems like this. You're going to consistently have problems like this, and people are going to make Will Howard beat them. They're going to make Will Howard beat them. And luckily for you guys, again, Ohio State fans watching this today, you got A, a good defense, but B, Nebraska NAD, not a dude, not a single one on the other side of the football. You're seeing defensive coordinators basically say, all right, we're going to stop that run. We do not believe that Will Howard will beat us, and you can't protect with 4. All right, so it's not even that they're having to load up against the box. All right, schematically and alignment-wise, they have guys in the box. They do. But it's not like they're full-fledged blitzing on third down to get after Will Howard. They don't have to right now. A lot of these teams are rushing 4, dropping 7, covering as best to their abilities as they can. And Ohio State cannot protect against a standard 4-man pass rush right now, not on a consistent basis. They're giving up a lot of sacks when everyone in the building knows they are throwing the football. That's a problem right now. It's a real problem, especially like we know Indiana's not a joke. We know Indiana's legit. We know Indiana is a really good football team, a well-coached football team with playmakers on the defensive side of the football. Also, they're not anemic on the offensive side of the ball. They have the ability to move it and score. So I think that Ohio State-Indiana matchup, I think that we have coming up this week, I think that's a really, really good one. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribing, rate, and review. And on to Penn State. Penn State gets out of Wisconsin with a 28-13 win, 14 fourth quarter points, ultimately pull away in this football game. If it tells you anything at all, and I'm going to be 100% honest with my audience that is here to watch me be a real certified ball knower and provide analysis on these football games. I thought the entire time that was Grunkmeyer that replaced my man Drew Aller in this football game. I thought it was. Come to find out, it's my man Bo Pribula is how I'm gonna pronounce that. It's Pribula. I'm pretty sure. We might honestly pronounce that. It's spelled Pribula. Pribula. Pribula is how we're going to pronounce that around here. Look like typical Penn State to me, though, even with the quarterback change, to be honest with you. They just beat Wisconsin because Wisconsin, in my opinion, not very good. Not very good right now. And they're trying. I will give that coordinating staff some credit. It is very clear to me that they thought they were going to be air raid when my man Luke Fickell took over. And through 18 months and 19 football games, it is very clear to everyone watching Wisconsin football that you don't have very good quarterback play, and you damn sure don't have very good wide receivers that can run this offense that you're trying to run. So the last, I think, 3 football games, Wisconsin's ran the ball 65% of their snaps after having thrown the football 55% of their snaps going into this under Luke Fickell. So a complete identity change from Wisconsin, nonetheless, not good enough. It's the reason why we moved to 11-5 on locks. I thought there was no way in hell that Wisconsin was going to be able to keep this within 7 points, and eventually it rolled over. Eventually it happened, right? I thought my man Pribula made some pretty big throws down the stretch of this football game, but man, was this Big Ten football. Check this stat out. This game had 73 pass attempts. That does not include the sacks. 73 pass attempts in this football game for 463 air yards. 463 air yards on 73 passing attempts. That's good for 6.34 yards per attempt. If you were to extrapolate that and make that a team's average, 6.3 yards per attempt, it would be 121st in the country right now. Some really bad passing game going on in this football game. So, yeah, the team with the better offensive line, better defensive unit, and better running backs managed to win this game by 2 scores. I'm flabbergasted. You know what I mean? As Big Ten as that one gets. As Big Ten as it gets. Now, the shortest piece of analysis I got for you with regards to an actual football game, but I'm going to talk about a coach. Bama just absolutely whips Missouri 34-0. And as much as Vegas obviously knew about something about this football game, they got their comeuppance in that BYU UCF football game because this line stunk, made no sense, 13.5 points. Thought, no way Bama's playing good enough football right now to be a 2-touchdown favorite over anybody, let alone an SEC-ranked opponent. Come to find out, Vegas just knew that Missouri was some dog shit on offense. But Vegas got that comeuppance in that BYU football game against UCF. How dare you? How dare you favor the Knights against the fighting BYUs? Let's talk about this Bama football game. Missouri gets a whipping. And Missouri, honestly, you deserve the whipping. And I know your quarterback's hurt right now, and there was a personal foul that was kind of late hit that didn't get called a personal foul. That probably didn't make you feel very good. But I am tired. I am tired of the Eli Drinkwitz experiment already. I'm tired of it. And here's why. There is a clip of Eli Drinkwitz talking shit to an Alabama football player and telling that Alabama football player, if I had your quarterback, this would be a different story. If I had your quarterback, this would be a different story. I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't even have notes on how I'm about to lambaste this dude, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just leave it at that. I'm over it. I am over football coaches who just want to be about sound bites. If y'all want to do it, just get into my business and take over my viewership, because you will. You will. Eli, I'm sure you'll be great. If you just want to be about giving microphone or giving quotes, give quotes, right? Bama needed that one. Bama needed that one from a locker room standpoint, a sense of belief standpoint, a sense of we are still who we are. All right, the players that stuck around this program and stood by, we are still who we are. Let's go out and finish this year like we're supposed to. I'm also about to be deep anti Eli Drinkwitz deep state. I'm about to be not only for the quotes and the virtually throwing your quarterback under the bus and talking shit to a college football player. I'm about to throw you under the bus because I am sick and tired of turning on film and watching only Missouri offensive linemen. It's nobody else, literally nobody else, that is out here taking dives at defensive linemen's kneecaps. And I know it's illegal. And I know you're a wide zone football team. And I know that this is what you coach. And I know it's written in the rules so you can get away with it. But I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of watching film and seeing centers being asked to back block 3 techniques and just diving at their knees and chopping them in the middle of a football play. I know it's legal. I understand that. But I'm tired of seeing it. Here's why. Because 9 times out of 10, the defensive lineman that you're doing that to in this conference, that guy's got an opportunity to feed his family and his family's family for decades, for years, maybe for centuries, all right? But because you don't want to, I don't know, maybe you don't want to coach it up or you don't want to recruit good enough football players and you think you can get away with it because you can coach this out. You can cheat the rules, not cheat them. You can skate by the rules and start diving on people's feet and diving on people's knees so you don't have to recruit tackles to dig up 3 techniques and get them out like everybody else does in this conference. It bothers me. Because I've watched guys get hurt. I've watched guys get hurt year after year playing Missouri like they're some kind of triple option football team when they're not. They're not. They're a team that people told us had college football playoff expectations. And look, I just went on a rant because I said I was going to say it. I've been talking to other SEC football coaches about this. They're not happy about it. They're tired of watching it too because they're the only team. They're the only team in this conference that does this. And you'll show me clips of teams cutting in quick game. And yes, they do. Guys cut in quick game every once in a while. That's not what we're talking about. Well, I'm talking about wide zone counter concepts that you are running 12 to 15 to 25 to 30 times a game in which you are diving on the ankles, knees, and backsides of defensive linemen who are on their way to making lots and lots and lots of money. It's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. And I know it's a take that doesn't matter. But football coaches watching this are like, I'm glad he says something because I'm tired of watching this shit too. Miami bullied Florida State 36-13. It was very clear to me Mario was making a statement. Mario played at Miami. Mario GA'd at Miami. Mario coached at Miami. Now is the head coach at Miami after having to go earn his right to be the head coach everywhere else, right? This is his school. This is his city. That football game means a lot to him. It was very clear to me. 40 rushing attempts in this football game. Going to put it down the throat of Florida State. All right. They were there to make a statement. Even the one touchdown that Cam Ward was even responsible for was a trick play. And then he gets up on the podium after the football game and says, hey, look, if you're an in-state recruit and you watch this, it's very clear to me where these 2 programs are going. Very clear to me where these 2 programs are going. And then hit it with a little podium smack. You hit it with the podium smack of saying something like that, you meant that one. You meant that one. And good on Mario for being able to get out here and stunt yourself when you out here on the comeuppance against a Florida State football team who last year it was the complete opposite. And do you know why? You know why it was the complete opposite last year and why this year you look like you're the football team that's going to cakewalk through a shitty ACC schedule and then go on to a college football playoff and hopefully stamp yourself as a real playoff contender? Do you know why? Because you bought good groceries and they bought bad ones. That's it. There ain't a whole lot of differences between these two football programs, maybe on the recruiting trail. Miami is certainly being able to recruit at a higher rate right now on the high school trail. But there ain't no difference really in what's going on at Florida State and what's going on at Miami. The major difference is Miami's player personnel department and recruiting staff and coaching staff selected really good football players this year out of the portal. Florida State did not. Did not. The reason he's going out there and making that statement to high school recruits about that is because he needs the high school recruiting to sustain his success, because Florida State has not been able to do that, right? Florida State has not been able to do that, and they probably won't. Here's my biggest concern about Florida State right now, and there's a ton of them. There is a ton of reasons to be concerned about Florida State, but here's my biggest one. They are not only buying bad groceries, they are not developing the ones that they purchased out of the high school ranks either. This 2023 recruiting class, who are now sophomores, by the way, they are duds. There's nothing good that's coming out of this one right now. I got the numbers on it, guys. They signed 19 high school football players in that class. 19 enrollees out of high school in 2023. 8 4-stars, 1 5-star. Of those 9 blue chip prospects, as a sophomore right now, 1 of them is starting, Conrad Hussey. Conrad Hussey is starting for this defense, all right? Everybody else that is a sophomore that signed in 2023, a top 15 class, is nowhere to be seen. The 5-star Hakeem Williams, you tell me, Florida State fans that are listening to this right now, has he gotten any better? Has he gotten any better? Because when he was coming out of high school, people like me, dum-dums like me, were saying, damn, that might be the next Julio Jones. Holy shit, look at that guy. Wow. Not any better. Has not gotten any better. And that's a problem. That's a problem because not only are you buying bad groceries, you're clearly not developing high school prospects that the industry thought were blue chippers. So there's a real, like, what? 1 in 7's bad. 1 in 7's bad. But seriously, where is the, hey, no, he going to right the ship. He going to get it right. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. Guys, he's back. He's going to be back right in the portal. He's going to be back right in the portal. He's not recruiting right now in the high school ranks, is Mike Norvell, okay? Not very well. It's like, hey, can we hold on to C.J. Wiley and Kevin Wynn? Can we? I don't know. I don't know if you can. This is in the notes. This is in the notes, guys. Texas survives Vandy. Survives Vandy. And look, they didn't just survive it. They said, hey, look, I know you dropped your sword, but here's an extra one. You know, look, I know it's the fourth quarter and you're down 7, but I'm going to give you 4 opportunities in a 1-score game in the second half. 4, while I do nothing. I'm going to give you 4 offensive opportunities, Vandy, down 1 score to go win this football game. And Vandy didn't do it. Vandy didn't do it. So for the first time all year, Vandy looked like Vandy. In that moment of that football game, they had multiple opportunities. 4 possessions for Texas offensively in the second half. You ready for this? These are the last 4 possessions for Texas with the opportunity to put the game away. This is what Texas did. Interception, 8 plays, 13 yards. Don't even know how that's possible. 8 plays, 13 yards, punt. 7 plays, 16 yards, punt. 7 plays, 24 yards, field goal, thanks to a short field because you turned it over on downs. Vandy, Texas gave you every shot to go win this football game, and you have to credit Texas's defense for standing up and winning this football game in the midst of their offense being able to do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And do you know why? You know why? Right now, Texas ranks 18th in yards per pass attempt on the season. 18th. That's despite the fact that over the last 4 games, their SEC slates, During the last 4 games, they rank 121st in yards per pass attempt. 18th on average, 121st over the last 4. That tells you how true it was that they ain't played nobody, Paul, but B, just how bad they've been over the last 4 games. They can't throw the ball past you right now. They can't run the ball successfully and consistently, and they cannot throw it by you. They can't create separation enough to throw it past you, and they can't run the football. You know what that is? That's recipe for disaster on offense. Recipe for disaster on offense. I personally, and this is hard because I don't think Sark's ever been this way. I don't think Sark's ever been, even dating back to his years in Atlanta as an OC, I don't think Sark's ever been to a place and been at a place as an offensive coordinator where his football team cannot consistently run the ball. And that's what's happening right now in the SEC. And that's a problem for everybody, but it's a real problem for a football team that's play action based. That's what they are. That's why, guys, their yards per pass attempts drop down because their quick game's all underneath. Their quick game's all 5 yards and under. Their quick game's all hitches and bubble screens and flat screens and tight end screens and halfback screens and then play action bombs. That's it. If you look at their spray chart, it's at, near, behind the line of scrimmage, 40 yards downfield. That's it. Maybe some deep benders in the middle of the field. But if you can't run the ball, that spray chart looks real troublesome when you can't run the football. All right, so bad recipe right now going on for them. And I'm going to tell you what, if I had to pick it right now, I'm picking A&M big. Maybe A&M by like 12 to 14 points against Texas if they lined it up and played tomorrow. And I think you'd feel the same way if you had to really say something about it. BYU is so real. BYU is so real, and Kalani Sitake is real. Guys, Kalani Sitake, the head coach at BYU right now, is 69-41. Nice. 69-41 at BYU since 2016. And that is despite going 2-7 last year in the Big 12. Guys, do you want to know what a really good football coach looks like in today's day and age of college football? This is what it looks like. In the midst of a 5-game losing streak to close their season last year against BYU, 5 games. They got beat by 30, I think it was, against Texas. They got beat by multiple scores the week after that. And then they're staring down their last 2 games of the season in the midst of a 3-game losing streak. Go on to lose 5 in a row. Staring down Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. 2 of their only 3 ranked opponents on the schedule last year. And they're in the midst of a complete losing streak. And they're going to lose these football games I'm telling you about. But they play Texas down to the wire, 1-score fourth quarter game. They play Oklahoma State down to the wire, 1-score football game. Maybe it's Oklahoma. All right, Oklahoma State to close the season, ranked opponents. They have reasons to play and reasons to go on and win. And you got very little. You out there scrapping and clawing at the end of your season and 1-score football games. That, to me, tells me, A, your players fight, but B, your coach can get your players to fight. Your coach can get your players up when there is nothing to get up for. And guess what now they have? Now they've got something to get up for every single week. Yes, the transfer BYU quarterback is a major part of this, right? A major part. Rolinski, or I forget my man's name. Tremendous part of their success. But really, it's Sitake, man. This guy's winning football games. 69 wins in his first, I think, 9 seasons, all right? No, first 8 seasons, okay? 69-41 at BYU. That's a damn ball coach, folks. That is a ball coach right there getting it done at a really tough place, not to win, but to consistently win, right? To do it like this and move up conferences, right? You go 2-7 last year in this conference, and then you show up a year later and you look like the supremacy of the conference. Hey, start believing in them, Vegas. Start believing in them, Vegas. What y'all doing? Y'all sleeping. Y'all sleeping on the Cougars. Tough slate moving forward, though. At Utah, Kansas, who showed up and showed out this weekend. At Arizona State, Houston to close the season as well. Man, Oregon just out here handling business, ain't they? Oregon looks like an SEC national championship winner right now. I feel like every SEC team that has won national titles in the last several years have done this, right? Where when they need to play big, they come out here and they just wipe the floor with folks. And then when they need to get their mind right, they do. Which, like, the last 3 weeks after that Ohio State game, everybody's been like, oh, Oregon's going to have another letdown. Nah, they didn't have a letdown. They were just getting primed. Them first 6 games before Ohio State, they were priming themselves for what they had to do against Ohio State. And now it's about sustaining, right? Sustaining what you got going on when you primed for that big win in Week 7. And I feel like Alabama in their prime would do this. LSU in 2019 did this, where they were just wiping the floor with everybody, and then it was like, oh, Auburn had a good plan for us. Oh, we need to play big in the SEC championship game? Don't worry. We're going to come out and wipe the floor with that Georgia football team. Don't you worry about that. Oh, we need to play big against Oklahoma? Don't you worry. How about 4 touchdowns for Justin Jefferson in the first half or whatever it was? Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, the really, really elite, talented, and, like, really good SEC football teams have done this in years past, and I feel like Oregon's doing this. No more letdowns for Oregon, I feel like, moving forward. Indiana, y'all gonna be out here? Y'all gonna be out here giving Ohio State a run? I mean, because, boy, did you dominate that football game from start to finish, I felt like, at least. I felt like from opening snap to closing whistle, there wasn't a doubt in my mind Indiana was about to win that football game. And I know it's Washington. I know they are very inept offensively right now. I understand what's going on. But David Jackson was spinning that thing. And he came into that football game last week when Rourke got hurt and was spinning that thing with no hesitation at all. And you know what that tells me? When I watch a backup quarterback come in and just rip the shit up out that thing and just confidently know that I'm the guy, I'm good for this, I'm prepared, I'm good. He's well coached. He's obviously well coached, right? Like, I know there was a competitive quarterback battle between Rourke and Jackson in camp. I know Rourke won it at the end of camp. I understand that Taven was well involved into this quarterback discussion into August. So it wasn't like he just unclicked his brain back in January, right? I'm well aware, but, like, dude walked in and, I mean, smooth sailing for the most part in this football game in the last 6 quarters of this game. And I think for me, the defense is good enough, right? They make enough plays. That's the thing. They got playmakers on that defensive side of the football. They got a good edge rusher. They got good defensive backs. They've got playmakers at keynote positions that make the play when it needs to be done. But I think we talk so much about, like, it factor and quarterbacks have an it factor and what does the it factor look like. I think it's boiled down to this over these years for me doing this. And it could be any position. It doesn't have to be just the quarterback, but the quarterback's the one that it pops up most for. But I think the it factor is when you walk into a room or when you walk into a situation or when you walk into a huddle, that everybody else around you instantly becomes better, right? Their sense of belief and confidence in oneself automatically takes a bump. The unit as a whole collectively starts to work better because you're around. All right. Players make plays outside of their own, capabilities sometimes because they're playing at this ultra sense of confidence because you have walked into the huddle. You know who's got the it factor clearly? This Cignetti guy. He's got it. Whatever it is, whatever you're looking for, he's got it because Indiana right now, every single one of those players from top to bottom is playing above their pay grade. Every single one of them. And the reason being, because clearly their coach provides some type of sense of ulterior belief in oneself. Clearly I can go out and play above my pay grade. He did it at Indiana Penn or whatever, IPU, what? Indiana Penn University. Did it at IPU. Out here dominating, taking a D2 school up and just wiping floor. By the way, don't know if you know anything about Division II football. It's dominated by the Southeast. Absolutely dominated. Dominated by the Southeast and then, like, very selective D2 programs in the Midwest. That's it. IUP, never heard of them. I see UP. I heard the joke. IUP, never heard of them. Goes over to James Madison. First year, 12-0. See ya. Winner. Google me. That's what I do. How does he do it? It factor. Everyone around him immediately takes a step forward. Just a big FU to Notre Dame to wrap up this local hour or this Sunday reaction show. Big FU to Notre Dame. How dare you do that to the servicemen? Don't you think you're getting into my playoff bracket ever? I don't care. I don't care if Navy's ranked. Disrespectful. Disrespectful as can be. Coming out here, putting on displays like that against our servicemen, making our servicemen turn it over damn near felt like half dozen times. How dare you? How dare you run it up on the servicemen? Get out of here. Sorry asses. Quick mentions. Hugh Freeze. It doesn't count unless you did it from a gurney in the press box. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. It does not count, Hugh Freeze, if you coach a game sick, if you don't do it from the press box, in a hospital bed. Period. Point blank. You'll get no credit on this show for playing hurt and playing sick. No. I don't care if you went on the road and beat a Kentucky football team by 2 scores and Jarquez Hunter ran for 270. I don't care. You didn't do it from a hospital bed, and you didn't make it enough about you. All you did was fly in on a private jet with a little fever. That's it. You don't get no credit from me. Yuck, Ole Miss. Yuck. Don't think I didn't see that. Yeah, y'all crawled back into it. Y'all got into it. 4th quarter win. That's awesome. Whatever. Yuck. Straight up yuck. Kansas, you tried. You tried. Man, that Lance Leipold story is weird, isn't it? Is he going to get a bigger job after having his worst year at Kansas because they just going to go like, oh, no, he gets a pass. He was perpetually 8-5 at Kansas before this year, and then that was Kansas's fault. Weird. Duke tried too. Duke absolutely tried in this football game as well. Good for Duke. Good for Duke for trying. I love a good I'm going for 2 at home when I'm trying to pull off an upset. I love that. Definitely should have ran that ball in there towards the end, but it is what it is. Damn, Pitt out here making me look stupid as shit. Kyle McCord returning to fashion. Kyle McCord out here looking like Kyle McCord again. What happened? Where'd that guy come from? I ain't seen that guy in a minute. The shitty Kyle McCord. Hell, he ain't shown up. He ain't shown up since last year. And then he just all of a sudden, hi, I'm Kyle McCord again. Yeah, all right. I'm good. Y'all good? I'm good. Appreciate you. Love you.